Hello, magic makers, and welcome to July. You are in the halfway through the year, second half of the year is beginning now, and not a moment to waste because this month is going to fly by. As everything has been flying by, you can expect July is going to be supersonic blast of wow. So this is a 7 month. So the good news is that the 7 energy is going to bring with it some of that higher insight. 7 is the number of heaven, bringing that wisdom of heaven down to the earth. And that's going to mirror this 4 universal month. So the number 4 is the number of strong foundations. It's about stability and order and discipline. And after the wild month of June with that 3 energy moving you all around and that supersonic, like astro blasting up and down and in and out and round, what a wild ride. July is going to give you that call, that summoning for order, for divine order. And so it brings that 7 energy of heaven into divine order. And so you're going to find yourself really moving through focus, really being called into focus. And be sure you stick around to the end to get the 4 pillars that you need to know to make it through this extraordinary month, not just make it, but create it. So this 4 energy, it's going to give you an opportunity to kind of reel it in, even though it's the middle of summer and it has that really fiery energy that's coming. You can utilize all that energy through the numerology to really get this like motivation to get up and go, to get moving. Let's also remember that the 4 represents the pillars of most creation, right? It's the 4 elements, which is all about balance and harmony, the 4 seasons, that every aspect, every element feeds the next. So this month, it's like every place you put your intention, that you put your action, that you really get present and intentional. That one will feed the next, will feed the next, will feed the next, and you'll have that beautiful 4 balance. It's like the legs of the table, right? To create stability, to make for strong foundations of what you're to build as the second half of this year finds you. And so it takes a lot of priority around work and career. It's important. It's a big security. It's like 4 is the number of security. So we're bringing in a lot of awareness around financial flow and abundance and money. And let's get real with the world the way it is and a lot of the collapsing of 3rd dimensionality that we're witnessing. Stability, especially around finances, around career, around the pathway forward, around purpose, are all up for great exploration right now. So this month is going to give you a little bit of an opportunity to stabilize some of that and to get back up on the horse is what is coming through right now, to kind of create what it is you want to create. And this is for the long haul. This is a long haul awareness of stabilizing your resources, your finances, your intentions, your purpose, your path. This number brings a lot of opportunity to move into your service. And so career and pathway of purpose, all of these things, but this can be played out in your community as well. So it's about being very intentional in building these foundations with the 4. Moving on to the astrology. So you rode into the month of July riding that Cancerian new moon energy that occurred on the 28th of May. That Cancer moon, or that new moon in its sign of Cancer, really bringing up a lot of the feels, all the feels, a lot of the emotions, a lot of evaluating where you are, what has come to fruition, what has come to pass, what you're willing to create moving forward. New moon's always gifting you with that new opportunity, but it brought a lot of opportunity to clear the emotional well. That's it. So that you could kind of wipe the slate clean in preparation for what is coming in the second half of this year. So we rode into it with that. July 4th is going to bring fireworks, but it's a Mars-Venus kind of interaction of fireworks. So you can expect that romance will be high, and yeah, so enjoy the fireworks of the 4th of July this year. July 7th is going to bring you some deep nostalgia as there's a retrograde happening that really brings in the Piscean kind of deep well of emotion. And the Piscean energy often is the wounded, well, it's the following of the emotion, right? The Pisces follows its own tail. And so you can get kind of a little bit lost in the spiral if you're not mindful. And that spiral will be a backwards gaze to what was, what has come to pass, that nostalgia. You might find yourself in a wishing well or in a regret place. That is not going to serve you at the highest level. The best way to ride through it, this happens on the 7th, best way, again, that number of 7 to heaven, the best way to ride through it is to hand over to your higher and greater sovereignty everything that is complete, and to anchor yourself deeply within the earth and create a strong intention of what it is you are willing to create, experience, receive, know, become as you move forward. And it's important just to ride through it. One of my favorite mottos that came through a couple of years ago is attached to nothing, allow for everything. It would be very pertinent to move into that expression in and around the 7th of July. Then we move into a Capricorn full moon on July the 17th. And that's going to really pull you. So that kind of backwards retrograde energy into that Piscean kind of space is going to, it's like being pulled back into the old well, but this moon is going to launch you forward. It's going to bring you really strongly into the presence, into present time, into your new creations, and into almost an excitement about what's possible and getting you ready to launch forward, right? With these strong foundations of the 4 being culminating around you for the entirety of those 13 days leading up to the full moon. So on the 19th, you will be met with a significant comet, Chiron, which is known as the wounded healer. And that's going to go retrograde, and it's going to be retrograde until December, late December, really carrying you through the end of this year. And what's important about this is another experience, another opportunity for you to move into unresolved pain patterns and trauma. And there's so much up in the field around the old traumas and the pain body experiences, trauma, because let's remember that as you're collapsing the 3rd dimensionality, all of that trauma, separation, pain body experience was all created in 3rd dimensionality. And so it's hyper accelerated right now, because in order to move into the full blossom and bloom of 5th dimensionality, of higher consciousness, there must be resolve of this traumas and a willingness to no longer attach to the pain body that is experienced through the trauma that we have all very deeply ridden through. And it's time to heal. And it's time to rise up, and Chiron is giving you that opportunity. So be really mindful over the next 6 months of what it is you're attaching to, and moving intentionally as part of your four of strong foundations to create strong practices of self-care, practices of healing, to help to optimize that wounded healer moving into a sourced, sovereign, strong, light being healer. We're all healers. You're a human on this planet right now. That means you hold the healer frequency because you are here to heal the planet and all of the participants upon it. So that is you. Okay, and then we move into, on July 22nd, Leo season begins. Fiery Leo is coming in. Party, party, party. Get ready to let your hair down. Get that experience of your empowerment, your own fire is what Leo brings us. So it's a great time to get very empowered, strengthened in your resolve, in your purpose, in your power, in your proclamation. So then we move into a Leo full moon on the 28th, wrapping up, getting close to the wrap up of July. And that's going to give you an opportunity, as all new moons do, to get the fresh start. But again, this fresh start, if last month's was in the sign of Cancer, right, that deep well of emotion, that very yin, you're moving in contrast with the new moon being in the fire of Leo. So it's an activating new moon, giving you opportunity to set really clear intentions that are going to carry you through August and far beyond. So the 4 words you most need to know, or expressions or pillars that are going to carry you through this month. Number one that came through so loud, so clear, was the word proclaim. It is time for you to be in the full proclamation of that which you intend, desire, are willing to align with. It's riding that Leo energy, that big, bold proclamation. So whatever has held you back in resistance from making those strong proclamations, you're having all these opportunities this month to go into the deep well of healing them. And you can proclaim the pain too. You can proclaim it in order to acknowledge it and in order to release it. And then the next proclamation comes with, yes, this is what I've experienced. This is what has occurred. And this is my proclamation of who and what and how it is I am willing to stand as I become new. As you become a new human, what is it you are proclaiming? Claiming it to be yours in conjunction and communion with spirit and the universe itself. Make the bold proclamation because it's yours. Number two is action. Action. So you make these bold proclamations, and then you're also required to take some action. And action is always divinely inspired action. It's not about moving out there hustling. The hustle is going away, friends. It is time to move into divinely inspired action. And sometimes that's a big, bold leap, especially if it's outside of your comfort zone. And everything you desire exists just in the edges or a little bit further outside of your comfort zone. That's the bounty of expansion. So it's go time. It's time for you to go for it. You proclaim it, and then you sit in the intention of that which you have proclaimed. You become one with the vibration of that which you desire, and then you stand up boldly when the universe calls it forth, and you take action. And sometimes that action might look like picking up the phone, or sometimes it might mean whatever it is. When you are called and summoned into the action, it is for you to rise to the occasion, to take it, because that is your message to the universe, that you are in fact in alignment with that which you are summoning, and you are willing to walk the path in order to become it. So action, go for it. Be fearless. Number three, which is in a little bit of a juxtaposition or interesting contrast to the two that came first, but it is surrender. It is surrender. It is surrender time. It is time for you to surrender over everything that is complete for you. The levels of surrender that have been summoned through me, you, we, the collective consciousness is mind-blowing and profound beyond. We are summoned to surrender, because in surrender you find trust. Trust is not the fourth word, but it goes so beautifully with surrender. So you must hand it all over. You must stop efforting. You must hand over your fear. You must surrender your attachments. You must hand over everything that is no longer for you, so you might serve at your highest level. It's safe to surrender. And in the surrender, a friend said to me yesterday, it's so beautiful to see that God has caught you. God, universe, creation, creator, whatever it is for you. But the sweet surrender was summoned through me this month at such a profound level again. And it's so hard to fall back when you don't know what the net is going to look like. When you don't know really, truly, you know, but you fear that the net won't be there. And it is so beautiful to witness and to experience how prudence itself rises to meet you when you surrender. Number four, the last word for this month is reflection. It's really important that you take the time that is needed to sit in the reflection of just how far you've come, just how much you have advanced, accelerated, how much you've let go of, how much you've aligned, how much you have evolved. It's so important to be in the reflection. And remember too that when you're in the great reflection of where you've been and where you are and where you're going, you also get to stand in great reflection for others to see themselves and the potential of themselves within you. Because we are all a mirror for each other, dancing each other home to the light. And when you are in the truth of your own reflection, You also get to be a phenomenal reflection for those that are around you, who are keen to witness you, but also to see themselves in the experience and the expression of what it is you have created, how it is you have created it, how willing you are to do the deep work, to surrender, to proclaim, and to rise into action. I am sending so much love to your light. I'm honored to be on this path with you. Make July an amazing month. I love you.